No Regrets by Horizon. Let's begin. The great Celestia, most beloved of ponykind, crouches, head bowed. She kneels to me. For a moment, disbelief overrules my senses. Of course she kneels. In her desperation, ponies have neglected my knight for a millennium, and I am done humoring her pleas. It is year 999 of the celestial era, and she has summoned me to her gardens. In the moon shadow of the statue of Discord, I am swathed in black and iron. Sister, her golden voice breaks, with it my vertigo. Please, there must be another way. I stare at her through purple haze and cold eyes. My mind insists I am gripped by vengeance. My heart is less certain. Another way? Even as the mocking words leave my mouth, they feel rehearsed. They were. She is predictable, and I am prepared. Still, thou dost not understand, sister. Celestia's face angles up as I speak. Her eyes flicker around the gardens, then lock into mine. She opens her mouth, stops, tries again, lets her jaw hang, blinks as if disoriented. Something is wrong? Is she stalling? I ought to fling my elements in her face and depart before she springs a trap. But I hesitate. Some inner voice whispers, a millennium of unbearable isolation, barren rock, festering rage. That way lies madness. Celestia closes her eyes sorrowfully and stands. My beloved sister, you are right. What? That is not how this meeting goes. My sister is too proud. For generations she has begged for tolerance, pleaded for reason, but refused to concede a single scrap of respect to my frustrations. Luna, your night is so cool and peaceful. When would you have them sleep? Luna, there isn't enough light for them to work by the stars. Luna, you're being foolish again. Of course they love you. Dismissal upon dismissal, each a tiny wound upon my heart. But tonight, I've tried my best, yet here we stand. Clearly, I don't understand. I failed you, Lulu. I am sorry. To finally hear those words retches at me. Sister, I respond with poor grace. I am certain thou art, but that will not move the moon. All right, she said quietly. Then tell me, why? Thou knowest, I snap. They relish thy day. They shun my beautiful night. She looks deep into me, her eyes welling with tears. Not that. You know that I can't wave a wing and change ponykind. And yet you're here with me. Why? Celestia is vulnerable, earnest, small despite her towering size. In that fragility her gaze holds mine as surely as any cockatrice's. This is a sister I have not seen in 1,000 years. A long time. Part of me screeches incoherently, impatient to unleash devastation. Another part of me whispers that I should not have come here at all. No, your highness, don't. Tia, the reminder says, teeth clenched. Why, indeed, I wanted my rebellion to mean something. I wanted to laugh in triumph as comprehension dawned upon her muzzle. But now that the moment has arrived, the dark part of me is oddly silent. This is too bitter. She sees my hesitation. Her breath catches. Tia, I snarl again. closing my eyes and steeling myself. Make this no harder than it must be. Submit! Lulu, she pauses, infinitesimally, but her voice is strong. Wait, listen, trade with me, and take the day. My eyes snap open. She is serious. A generation passes. They call me Aurora. I am loved. It is all I've ever desired. I sit upon the balcony as I do each nightfall, drinking in the sweep of the stars as Celestia glides down from her racing. She lands, staggers over, and sags against me. I rest a forehoof on her withers and hold her in a hug. She buries her muzzle in the rainbow of my mane, nuzzles my neck, and gasps for breath. It is springtime, year 50 of the Auroran era, 1049 CE under the old celestial calendar. The remodel of Everfree Castle is almost complete. Equestria's borders have expanded so far that my sister and I were called to subdue the three-headed beast of Cantor Peak with the elements of harmony. Equestria prospers. I am loved. It is all I've ever desired. Celestia's struggle to adjust is often visible upon her muzzle. Her night comes, as mine once did, with endless responsibility. My day comes with endless energy. I understand now why running Equestria once came so naturally to her. She required outlets for excess radiance. In the years since our averted war, I have assumed that oversight. In addition, I have written an encyclopedia, 17 novels, and 24 doctoral theses. I have mastered all major strategy games, save Lapidus. Even there, only a dozen mortal ponies can still force me to take a handicap. I have begun tutoring the magical students. Celestia no longer has time to teach, and in the process have single-handedly founded a new branch of the Magistracy. Despite her perpetual exhaustion, my sister seems unexpectedly content. Lacking the vitality to maintain 1,000 years of accumulated obligation, she has begun to shed it, and as I have thrown myself into the necessities of leadership, she has been able to focus upon the old friends who bring her the greatest joy. But tonight, as strength returns to her legs, that contentment is elusive. I look straight into the eyes of my older sister at the Stardrift mane that perches incongruously above her dappled, dirty white coat, and smile encouragingly. My dear Tia, the sky is lovely. She shakes her head, turns from my gaze. I am an amateur. 5 decades and I'm still spilling the Milky Way across half the sky. And I realize tonight that I've been maintaining the Hades so irregularly that I've split into a double cluster. Oh, Tia. Without looking, I wing point just west of the northwest, 32 degrees from the horizon. She, Perseus, and he, Perseus? That was far from my only double cluster. It is simple that only one that survives. I long ago encouraged the rest to scatter. On top of that, she continues, raising her voice, I let Merkab and Hormonam drift too far apart for most of the last month. I don't look forward to telling the astronomers about August's new meteor shower. Let's not even discuss that sordid collision of Fengen and Anka. Tia, I cut her off firmly. I still do not understand her disappropriate horror at her first stellar impact. It took me 6 centuries to get rid of mine, and I had warned her to expect them in large quantities. That never materialized, but for the conversation to turn to her solitary failure would be unproductive. Thou art making it thy sky. Its beauty will fall only and ever from its imperfections. Dost thou remember? Once upon a time thou wert driven to madness by why I made Pegasus the largest equine constellation. She considers for long moments. Recognition sparks in her eyes, as I am about to explain. You placed the horn wrong on the wrong end, didn't you? I giggle. I moved it above the flank and declared it intentional. Her laughter explodes forth, and I am swept up. Our amusement spirals, soars. It is a punchline I have yearned to share for 1,000 years with some pony who understands, and soon it is less laughter than catharsis, clinging to each other as our spasms and gasps shake a great weight from our hearts. Our guards peer through the balcony door, in prudent yet unnecessary concern. Finally, flat upon the stone, under her beautiful, glorious, clumsy sky, we recover our breath. "Lulu," she asks out of nowhere, "are you happy?" "Of course," I stare into her eyes, willing the universe to sing along with my voice. No mere words able to capture the majesty of my response. If Equestria's salvation had rested at that moment upon my ability to rein in my smile, I would have doomed us all. "And thou?" There is a second in which her expression freezes. A deer in the spotlight. His muzzle, perfectly groomed, mustache, 2 white teeth, is agape in shock and bewilderment as we lock eyes. And then Celestia relaxes into an easy, genuine smile. "Yes, Lulu, I am." Her joy is so palpable, so absolute, that my strange figment of thought falls away. Nothing more is said. Nothing more needs to be said. For several minutes we lie in sorrel embrace, sage blue and roan gray. Half our world is smothered in a blanket of darkness, half trimmed in the glimmering gemstones of night, and her moon, wraps our bodies in the pale gauze of its light. Finally, the smoldering question burns its way to my lips. "Tia," I ask softly, "what made thee give up thy son?" Silence stretches into awkwardness, then discomfort. I am about to retract the question when her words stumble forth. "The bigger question is, why it took me so long." Her voice is distant. "It hurt me to see your pain, Lulu. I was scared of it, of what happened to Equestria if one of us ever gave it into it, even once. So I sought refuge from those fears in duty. I thought you would have to see reason if I could lead by example. But that night in the garden, it was 999 CE. Ponies had neglected my night for a millennium, and I was done humoring her pleas. I knew I had failed, but it didn't know what else to do. I saw you holding Equestria hostage, Lulu. I saw only a choice between love and duty." She sighs. "And I had to choose duty. Otherwise, eternal night would have ended ponykind in ice or in starvation. But something stopped me. A little voice. A deep inner regret. A whisper of what we faced. A millennium of unbearable isolation." "A millennium of unbearable isolation," we chorused, then stopped, startled. Barren rock, festering rage, stellar conjunction, darkness resurgent. The phantom thoughts were unbidden. I flinched. They are vivid, all too plausible. I tried to distract myself, eyes darting around the sky, locking in on the moon. Barren rock, festering rage. Barren rock, festering rage. Something inside me starts screaming. I jolt to my hooves, blindly body slam the balcony door open, and dash into the tower. Stellar conjunction, darkness resurgent, spectral flashing, rebirth, sunshine, springtime, bright balloons, squealing foals. The shot, mustache, muzzle. No, your highness, don't. A voice strikes me back to awareness. Oh, stars, Lulu, she shouts. Luna, Aurora, sister. I blink. Each eye blink is a day, each minute is a year, and focus on Celestia's frightened eyes. I'm balled up behind her bed, body shaking, cheeks wet. 3 guards are hovering nervously. One is wing sprinting down to the castle. At my reaction, Celestia lunges in desperation, neck arching against mine, sobbing, "Oh, stars, sister!" "Tia?" I whimper. "What is going on?" "Little sister, it's okay. I'm here. I'll always be here for you. I love you." After extensive battery of negative tests, the royal physician diagnoses it as a stress reaction, exacerbated by overwork, and strictly forbids me from continuing to plan the upcoming summer sun celebration. Though it is to be my 50th, I pass oversight to a hastily assembled committee. I do not attend Celestia's raising for a month, and avoid being outdoors at night. The visions fade. By unspoken agreement, we do not speak of that night in the garden again. "I'm sorry I'm late," she says, trotting in behind the horn shimmer of the opening door. It's great to. My pupil and I look up from our studies. Celestia's words and motions both lurch to a halt. It is springtime, 1:44 AE. Our elements of harmony embrace ever more of the world. We have cleaned out the monster nests from the old dragon kingdoms, unsealing Tatar caverns underneath the Palace Draconic to create habitations for the beasts who friendship will not reform. Those who see reason are given liberty and surface land, and soon Mytholia is a flourishing trade partner. Equestria prospers. I am loved. It is all I've ever desired. The filly's face lights up. "Auntie Tia, art thou here to teach me magic as well?" The ever-free court has, over several generations, fallen back into the high speech that Celestia once discouraged. The common dialect that she prefers is beginning to sound anachronistic. Not tonight, Star Sparkle," Tia says, gifting me with a subtle glare as the filly's muzzle falls. "I was told your grandma was here." Guilt drags my stomach into my bowels. Star Sparkle, the younger, despite her age, is the most promising mage of our generation. Star Sparkle, the elder, is a dear friend of Celestia's. Of a sudden, my tutelage, especially during these evening hours, feels like theft. "Oh, sister," I say, voice radiant with love and empathy. "It is but Star Sparkle's lessons tonight. The message of her arrival have been miscarried, but if it pleaseth thee," I leap to my hooves as the final sentence deflects from her retreating flanks and ruffled wings. "Sister, oh feathers!" Celestia is hurtling out into the night at such velocity that I am obliged to teleport into her path. "Tia, wait!" She curves left. I flap to block. Tia! In a flurry of wings, she air brakes to avoid collision. Cornered, she lashes out. So, when you missed 2 of my raisings last week, were those but Star Sparkle's lessons? No, Tia, I was my best friend grandfold. How long have you been teaching her, Aurora? I stare, shocked. Her mud-gray muzzle is not yet so dark that I cannot see the flush spread across it. We hover, speechless, for a heartbeat. Rory, I didn't mean... I know thou didst not, I say gently, bringing a cerulean forehoof up to her shoulder. Thou art upset. I love thee, Tia. My best mortal friend. I have so few. She begins to cry. Oh, Lulu. You'll always be my Lulu. Shh. I hold her, heart sinking. I know where her isolation will inevitably lead. When her tears are sent, I close my eyes and say faintly, Dost thou wish thy son back? What? She starts, and I know I have struck home. No! The truth, Tia, I say, as gently as the warmth of a spring day. I hear her swallow. The truth, Yes, I miss it, sister, but that does not mean I want it. Oh, feathers, Lulu, are you happy? What? I ask, suspicious of the subject change, but look at her as I answer decisively. Yes? Then I am too. I am doing this for you. I only ever was. She sighs. It has been a hard season, sister. That's all. You survived a millennium of this. You know its highs and lows. I do. I know all the red flags as well. Thou speakest of surviving it, Tia. If it tortures thee, as it did me, then 'tis only fair we share it. Fear, then determination flare up in her eyes. I will be fine, I promise. I stifle my unease and take her at her word. The beast writhes, wrapped in rainbows, loosing an earth-shaking roar. Then it falls, a mountain of scales and spines, crashing across our entire horizon, and the earth does shake. I flap against the sudden rush of air. Tia staggers, fights for a footing. The dragon thrashes, lies still. I land. The black, star-speckled alicorn at my side lets out a long sigh. I wrap a comforting white wing around her. It is springtime, 208 AE. With their old wilds reclaimed, the dragon migrations have turned to depredation. We have finally subdued the last and largest of their raiding parties. Even the griffins now make overtures for peace. Equestria's shining glory of the world, an era of golden empire, lies open before us. I am loved is all I ever desired. It is our moment of victory, but there is no triumph in her voice, only an exhaustion as deep as her midday shadow. Let's go home, she says. I'm so tired. I open my mouth to respond, and am interrupted by a crackle of magical energy. I step back surprised. Tia's eyes widen. Space unfolds. A scroll made of a parchment foreign to Everfree appears in a gout of green dragon's flame and bounces to a rest at our feet. Her eyes betray guilt. Celestia, I say evenly, what is that? Her jaw works soundlessly. I snatch the scroll and horn and read, Dear Princess Celestia, oh, this is a good question. I don't know, but I'm sending Rainbow Dash for my reference book now. It may take a little while. Don't worry, we've still got an hour before your sun needs to set and Luna's moon needs to rise. That's a tight deadline to break such a complex, ambitious, and sloppy enchantment. But you're the most amazing mage in all of Equestria. If anyone can do it, you can. Also, both of your vital signs look good, but I can't take anything for granted since neither the monitor nor the machine itself was designed for the indefinite lifespan of alicorns. Your faithful student, Twilight Sparkle. Now it is my turn for speechlessness. Explain, I order. Oh, Rory, she whispers, shaking her head. I didn't want... At my glare she swallows and starts anew. She says, she's the element of magic, far in the future, and the two of us... I am not, I interrupt, raising my voice, interested in the beliefs of the mentally ill. But she knows things. The visions. I am not inquiring of this, Twilight, I shout. I am inquiring of thee. Is thy life truly so miserable that thou must turn to the fancies of madmares for solace? She knows things we've seen that I haven't told anyone. Then perhaps she is the source of them. When Celestia hesitates, I press on, more quietly. Thou promised thou wert bearing thy duties without suffering. I am, she says quietly. I just didn't want to upset you until I could be certain. Certain of what? A fool's time travel tale? Celestia draws herself to her full height, staring upward into my eyes defiantly. Yes, Aurora, because I'm convinced it's the truth. And if you'll just listen to reason for 10 seconds. I narrow my eyes, humoring her. 1, 2. She takes a deep breath. According to Twilight, that night in the garden we failed to reconcile. We fought. I banished you to the moon. Barren rock, festering rage. 3, 4. 1,000 years later, you returned to bring eternal night once more, but she and her friends stopped you with the elements of harmony. The two of us finally reunited, with a millennium between us. So I suggested we disguise ourselves to attend a carnival and be sisters, normal sisters for a day. Sunshine, springtime, bright balloons, squealing fools. 5, 6, 7. There was a large magical machine on the midway. Unicorn inventors called it the Grand Nostalgic Chronophagic Regret Eradicator 2000. Step inside it for a few minutes. 8, 9... No, this is entirely too convenient, and I see where this is going. No! Celestia keeps trying to speak. The Royal Canterlot voice drowns it out. My body hovers. The rocky ground starts to heat shimmer. The fallen dragon whimpers, eyes wide at my rage, and tries to drag himself away. No, nightmare, do not further insult 2 centuries of dearest friendship. My love for thee is no illusion to salve my regrets. Celestia flinches as if struck. Her eyes tear up, though from my words or the hot scoring wind, I cannot tell. She mouths a word that might be, but this conversation is over. For the sake of our beloved Equestria, thou wilt converse no more with Twilight Sparkle. 45 years later, the moon fails to yield for the dawn. I find Celestia in the garden. She is swathed in black and iron. My beloved sister, I say with infinite kindness, not Only I, but the world who also loves thee, begs thee, stand down. No, your highness, don't. She shakes her head. I kneel and bow. Then take back thy rightful day. It better suits thee than this lunacy. And still you don't understand, she says, her silver voice breaking. My blood instantly runs cold. Twilight. Tia is silent. I stand heart-raping asunder. Oh, sister, I understand, but I reject. See reason. Thou fell prey to a dark force manipulating thy pain. Thy fantasies about my regret improve not with repetition, nor gain in truth by holding thy world hostage. No, you don't understand why I'm here. I understand. Vengeance. Bitterness. 250 years of unrewarded exhaustion, punctuated by a sundering which I do deeply regret, sister. There is another way. We have shown it once already. I'm here, she continues, as if I had said nothing, to save us both. I figured it out. To break the enchantment, the regret once erased must be restored. I can but laugh helplessly. Art thou listening to thyself, sister? Discord, then it can only be. It's not. I'll tell you how I know. I have failed her. Somehow, I have failed. I tell myself that at least Equestria might yet be saved. I raise wings of light. The garden shines as day. Celestia crouches, and the cold, ironic power of Nightmare Moon gathers and swirls around her. Then she whispers from within the dark haze, "My beloved sister, you were right." What? The regret wasn't yours. Once you realized the machine was malfunctioning, you came in to save me. I hesitate. She lunges. Darkness falls. Okay, that was No Regrets by Horizon. And it was quite an enjoyable story, honestly. But pretty soon you'll have another piece of his story. Till then, see ya.